The XM4 is one of those all-around weapons in Warzone that just gets the job done. It's been that way ever since it was released back in the Verdansk days of Warzone, despite coming in and out of popularity. But does it still rise to the top tier in Caldera today after some pretty heavy Season 3 weapon rebalancing? Hey folks, RobMan here, today checking out the XM4 to see what it's like in the new Warzone Season 3 meta. We'll check out how to best kit it out, its TTK values, recoil plots, and other key information. And at the end of the video, we'll give it a Rob rating of Spec It, Try It, or Drop It. But first, let me quickly thank you for dropping by the channel. If you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe button and you'll make me one very happy fella. So jumping right into it, we're going to kit out our XM4 as a primary long-range weapon. We'll start out with the agency suppressor, the 13.5-inch task force barrel, the axial arms 3x optic, the field agent grip, and the 60-round mags. All in all, this gives us a nice balance of max range and recoil control. Of course, you can always sub out the optic for anything you prefer based on your individual playstyle. Alright. Stop squirming in your seat. We're going to throw those TTKs up on the screen now. For the data-inclined folk out there, these numbers are based on 100% of the shots hitting the upper torso region of the body. So we can see the XM4 holds an 830 millisecond TTK time for up to 32 meters. Past that, the TTK sits at 913. You know, I'm just going to put it out there. This is not the fastest killing assault rifle. Season 3 brought the devs in to shake up the weapon balance by quite a bit, and the XM4 was unfortunately on the wrong side of things. Looking at the AR class average, it's almost 7% slower in its max damage range and falls right in line with the average TTKs at longer ranges. I'll be honest though, I'm a fan of the XM4. There, I said it. It's off my chest. The weapon does have some redeeming qualities, and I'm just not ready to write this thing off yet, so stay with it and let's take a look at some more stats. In raw mobility, in terms of running around the map, strafing speed, etc., we can see that the XM4 is actually 4 to 5% above average. This is helpful if pinned down or hunting down a bounty. On the flip side, and arguably more important, the XM4 is about 5% slower while ADSing. This is important because this is essentially saying you've got reduced mobility when in a direct gunfight where shots are being exchanged. The ADS strafe speed in particular is the most important stat here, as it allows you to try and dodge incoming fire while sending bullets down their way. I mean, 5% is not a lot, but it's not nothing either. I don't really feel that the ADS mobility holds me back while using the XM4, but if you've had a different experience, please give it a shout out in the comments below. Now, if bullet velocity doesn't get you all excited, well, you're probably pretty normal then. The XM4 holds a 1530 meters per second velocity, trumping the class average by about 3%. Your shots will need less time to reach this target, meaning you won't have to lead those shots as much. Bullet velocity good? Leading shots bad. You know what else is bad? Bullet drop. Taking a look at this chart, we can see the XM4 actually holds its own here amongst the lot, coming right in line with the STG. But hang on a sec, ARs have an effective range of maybe 150 meters maximum. If we look at that range, there's actually very little difference across the selected ARs. On this score, I'd say our XM4 is A-OK. Moving on to our weapon of the day's fire rate and damage values, we can see that it's set at 723 rounds per minute, putting it just above the class average of 703. The damage values, well, to put it nicely, are just okay right across the board. They aren't horrible, they're just not anything to write home about. But hang on a sec, I'll let you in on a little secret. There's more to the story here. TTKs aren't everything, no matter what they tell you. These damage numbers actually tell me that the XM4 is extremely forgiving in a firefight. Just point and shoot with the XM4. Anywhere you hit on the body, you're going to give them the same damage amount. So whether you're new to the game and are looking for a pick her up and shoot kind of weapon, or stumbled across someone else's loadout and see an XM4 there, know that just like Rick Astley, it'll never let you down. Seriously though, TTKs and damage values aren't everything. For me, recoil is sometimes even more important than a weapon's TTK. You could have a beast of a weapon, but if you can't hit those shots, man, you're as good as dead. So let's give the XM4 visual recoil a quick look.
Moving up.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think that's about as clean a visual recoil as it goes. This is a clear strength of the XM4 and something that definitely makes ranged engagements easier and much more manageable. Now turning to the actual recoil plot, we can see the bullet path in the wall at a distance of about 10 meters or so. Overall, it's pretty clear to me that its initial recoil is pretty linear, meaning you'll stick on target at the outset of a gunfight. The overall recoil magnitude is very reasonable for a 60 round mag, so no crazy compensation needed here. And the recoil path has absolutely zero side to side bounce. This last point is key because it's almost impossible to compensate for horizontal recoil. I guess the only knock I'd say about the recoil plot is that it slightly veers to the right midstream. But frankly, this is common enough and is not anything really to be concerned about. You'll learn to deal with that recoil pattern very quickly and very easily, I assure you. Well folks, that pretty much wraps up the XM4. So here's the $1 million loadout question. The XM4, do you spec it, try it, or drop it? I have to go with spec it. The TTKs aren't anything to write home about, but at range, which is frankly where a primary is supposed to shine, it's right in line with the assault rifle class average. It's got stellar recoil and mobility stats, and in my opinion that makes up for some of that TTK and damage gap. In a sweaty gunfight against a top tier player using an STG or an AMAX, you're gonna lose that fight. But for the large majority of gunfights, you're gonna hit your shots with the XM4, and in my opinion, that more than makes up for its downsides. Do you agree with the Rob rating Spec It? Let me know in the comments below. Well folks, that pretty much wraps up the XM4 for today. If you've enjoyed the video or have learned something, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Hope to see you back. RobMan out. Cheers.